Welcome to Madison City Channel's Know Your Candidate interviews, co-sponsored by the League of Women Voters of Dane County. I'm your interviewer, Shell Gross, and I would like to introduce Colin Barushok, running for Dane County Supervisor in District 1. As we begin, please give an opening statement about the educational, vocational, and civic experience you have, which prepares you for this office and why you're running for Dane County Board.
Well, thank you, Shell, and thank you to the League of Women Voters and the Madison City Channel for giving me the opportunity to talk about the issues today. It's a very short timeline for a special election. So any help we can get reminding voters and getting our message out is excellent. I'm Colin Barushok. I have been living in downtown Madison in this central isthmus for about 12 years now. I came to study mathematics at University of Wisconsin-Madison. But while I was doing that on the side, I got into public service at the Student Association, Associated Students of Madison. I served on various committees, including eventually as a Student Services Finance Committee chair, and I led a grassroots campaign that eased costs for students by it resulted in the university signing a contract for the system that is very widely used on campus now, which is Canvas, and it saves students money from having to buy a different service for each class. And that's after graduation, I worked in the state capitol as a support staffer, and on the side, I got involved in city committee. So Mayor Sachi Conway appointed me first to the vending oversight committee and then the alcohol license review committee, of which I'm the vice chair right now. On that committee, I support small businesses and stand up for neighbors and support small businesses. Now for my day job, I still work for the state in the state capitol for a Democratic state senator, where we provide the best possible service and push back against vindictive Republican policies and try to make our state a better place. So I'm ready, willing, and able to serve my neighbors and the Dane County Board from day one.
Thank you. What specific ideas do you have to increase the supply and quality of affordable housing, preserve existable affordable housing, and address the needs of unhoused people?
The county board is well positioned to, I like to answer the questions in reverse order. So I'll start with talking about unhoused people. I've been providing assistance and volunteering my time to help unhoused people since I've been in downtown Madison. It is an issue facing our downtown community, and I've provided food, shelter, and other resources for my neighbors here who are downtown. I'm pleased to see there's a number of organizations that provide food, shelter, and then other needs that don't come to top of mind. For example, internet access, laundry, cell phone, etc. So the county's well positioned to invest and support those nonprofit organizations that provide that service, and that's certainly something I would support. We need to do everything in our power to create stable, affordable homes. We need to do that through zoning authority, which the county is able to do in parts of the unincorporated areas of the county. And the fact of the matter is, if people in my neighborhood now, or in my generation, if they're going to afford a house someday, if I'm going to afford a house someday, it'll probably be out in the county. It may not be downtown Madison. We also need to protect existing affordable housing and our historical assets downtown. Thank you.
The racial disparities in Dane County are varied and widespread. What specific actions would you propose to reduce these disparities?
Thank you. I strongly believe that the county's role in promoting the health, safety, and well-being of the community has a potential to lift everybody up, and including the people who are the most marginalized. And unfortunately, as we know, those are racial minorities, among other groups. We need to do everything in our power to reverse the effect of decades or centuries of racist policy. And we need to provide that safety net. For example, in my campaign, I propose investing in robust legal services for people in civil matters. Now, in criminal matters, you're guaranteed by the Constitution access to an attorney. But civil matters such as housing disputes or consumer protection, if you're a victim of a scam, these can be civil matters, but there's not enough public legal aid for people who don't have the money for an attorney. If the county commits to increasing resources, that will have the effect of helping out racial minorities, our immigrant neighbors, and other marginalized peoples.
What are your priorities in environmental protection, land use planning, and transportation policy? What challenges do you anticipate, and how would you address them?
I think the biggest environmental issue is the threat that PFAS has on our lakes, Lake Mendota and Lake Monona, which are central to the identity of our downtown community. So we need to take science-based approaches to figure out how to reduce the amount of PFAS that gets put into our environment and clean up our lakes and our soils from PFAS. We need to also make sure we're using best practices when it comes to the landfill, and we need to join the fight, or recommit efforts to try to plant 1 trillion trees globally. As for transportation, I am a big fan of the Regional Transit Authority, which is an intergovernmental way for communities across the county to provide transit. That'll be very important for economic growth, and just to help people get from their homes to their jobs or place of entertainment, etc. The obvious challenge for those aware is that we're not permitted to do that under state law. And so we'll need support and cooperation from people in the state capitol to get that done. I'm happy to say I already work in the state capitol. I have connections, and I did campaign work and set us up to get a Democratic majority in 2026 in the state Senate.
Thank you. The Crisis Resource Center and expansion of the CARES program outside of Madison have been proposed as ways to address the needs of individuals with mental illnesses. Do you believe there are further actions the county should take to address mental health issues?
I'm a big proponent of the CARES program, which I think that's the same as the same concept as the one the city does. So unarmed emergency response is extremely important because it takes the burden off of police officers who may not have adequate training to deal with a variety of mental health problems. Yes, the county can do more. I think unfortunately, there's a lack of access to short and long-term mental health facilities and drug and alcohol abuse facilities. So the county needs to make investments to increase access to those type of facilities. And that's going to be a challenge for budget reasons. But I think the county is in a good position going forward to negotiate a much better deal with the state to make sure the money we already pay in taxes comes back to our community. And that's how we're going to fund these priorities and make our community better.
Please describe any other priorities for your term in office. If these include new or expanded programs, how would you propose to fund them?
What I'm proposing in my campaign is legal services. We talked a little bit about that, legal services and education. because that's one way that people's lives can be really derailed is being involved in a legal dispute, especially for someone who maybe has been scammed, has a problem with unemployment insurance, or is in a housing dispute. I think that'll be that plus there in the U.S. Congress, the House passed what they're calling the SAVE Act, and it's pending in the U.S. Senate, which would require verification of citizenship to vote. I don't think the county has the administrative capacity to take that on. I don't think that bill should pass. But one thing I'm proposing in case it does is making the first copy of vital records free. So you don't have to pay $20 to go get your birth certificate so you can vote. That would be an unconstitutional poll tax, and I think that we need to be proactive on that issue. And once again, we'll need to cooperate with the state. We'll need to get a fair shared revenue formula and flexibility over our own revenue collection at the county level.
What would you like to say to the viewing audience as we complete the interview?
I'd like to thank everyone who's watching. Thank you for bearing with us for another election. I know politics can be, it can get to be a lot, and being asked to take time out of your day to come and vote so many times a year is to do your civic duty. It's great that you are watching this. I want you to visit my website, colinbarushok.com, and I want you to come out and vote on June 17th. That's coming up in less than 50 days. And keep staying involved and engaged.
I want to thank Colin for speaking with us and thank the viewing audience for taking the time to know your candidates. I want to remind everyone that the special election is Tuesday, June 17th. Every election is important. Please vote. On behalf of Madison City Channel and the League of Women Voters of Dane County, I thank you for joining us.